Greetings again from the C.M. Russell Museum. I'm Executive Director Tom Figarelle, and welcome to yet another installment of the 2020 Art in Action Artist Showcase. As you folks who have been watching these other installments know, Art in Action has changed for us a little bit. This is an event that's been a traditional quick draw or quick finish with a slight variation where artists have a number of hours to finish a piece while interacting with guests. Well, that interaction with guests is really limited given the COVID dynamics of this year. But what we're trying to recreate through these showcases is an opportunity for you to hear directly from the artists on how they're doing, what they're working on, and just their overall creative process and spirit. We're joined today by artist Michael Blessing, and we're always sponsored by D.A. Davidson Companies, who sponsors both Art in Action as well as all of our educational programs so we can advance the art and soul of the American West. So Michael, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, and I look forward to sharing a few bits with you.
Well, excellent. That'll be good fun. Well, you know, at the outset here, just how are you doing?
Doing good. With all things considered, it's been a shift as everybody is experiencing, and we're looking forward optimistically to the future, and certainly for this event on the 12th. I'm amazed that you're going to be able to make all this happen in one day. That's pretty amazing, but it's all good. We're looking ahead.
Well, good. I appreciate that forward perspective and that optimism. I think that that's a dose we all need for sure. But yeah, you're right. The 12th of September will be a fun one. We do have a lot of activity, a lot of art to move that day, but it'll be an exciting time and an unprecedented one for us as a museum and for all the artists like yourself that are participating. And so, something our viewers would like to know, our patrons, is, what are you working on right now? What's been inspiring you? What are you focused on in your art today?
Well, I'm heavily focused on these mixed media pieces with oil paint and actual neon light, LED neon. I started on this venture in 2019 and the winter of, and it's captivated me since that time. I'm doing, paintings as well without the light, but it's pretty much got me captivated. I've got 3 pieces I'm working on right now for Coors, which will be up in this coming January. And of course, you've got one at the museum. Actually, that was the first piece with this new technology that I put together for you guys. So thanks for taking that. And so it's just trying to combine the Old West, nostalgic and romantic West of the movies with even historic characters sometimes, and putting these neon light effects on my take of basically portraiture to create a composition, a contemporary Western composition. So that's what I'm focused on.
Well, I got to tell you, your pieces, that mixed media is just fantastic. We were just, for people that are watching, Michael and I were discussing beforehand the piece that he has in our sale this year and where it's displayed at the museum. So we do encourage you, if you're in the Great Falls area or in Montana, come by the museum. We have our galleries open showing the 2020 art, and you'll see Michael's piece, which presents so well. I mean, there's something about the lights and the oil that just really complement each other, and it feels natural in so many respects.
Good. Oh, that's good. Well, it's definitely different. But I'm real excited to be able to show these to the public, and even more excited because it's still new, getting more response from people I get to talk to on a one-to-one basis, what their experience is of it. It's still too new. I haven't got a lot of feedback yet. So I'm anxious to see what people are thinking, what kind of experiences, like you just said, they have from it, so. Anyway.
Well, that's one thing, we always, I think, are challenged with on a yearly basis here at the museum is people will say, oh, if you want to get a sense of what the American West was, come to the C.M. Russell Museum. And that's true. I don't want to discount that perspective, but that is very rear facing. I think your art has a sense of liveliness to it in the American West today. And that's the spirit that I think we're all challenged to breathe into people's conceptions about the West, that the West is still as much here today as it was 100 years ago when Charlie was producing art. So I think your talent and your perspective really lends well to that.
Oh, good. Well, taking risks and trying to come up with something, not just for the sake of coming up with something new and different, but I just feel compelled, and I try to listen to my intuition and let that guide me to take the next step. And this is the current iteration of that next step. And I'm hoping that it will have some legs after a year or 2, 3 years down the line, and people will be able to embrace it and enjoy it in their homes, or if it goes into a corporate office or just wherever, it will seem like a good fit and be appreciated and bring joy to the environment that it's in.
Oh, no doubt it will. No doubt it will. You know, Michael, you mentioned taking risk. And I think many people, the layman, if you will, the non-artist, when they think of an event like Art in Action, a quick finish or a quick draw, I think they think risk. I know I do. I think about the risk of having to engage people in conversations, but yet still produce a work of art. Talk to us, if you will, on why you like that type of setting, why those types of events draw you, and why you engage in them.
Well, yeah, they're great. I like the interaction with people there. I do like that part. I'm a very focused person. So for me to divert my energy from what I'm doing to carry on a conversation is challenging. I'll admit that. However, once I get into explaining what I'm doing, it's really a lot of fun to be able to take somebody and give them a little more at what they're looking at and why. It always ends up really great to be able to interact with folks while it's going down. And the Art in Action too is really cool. Being able to do this piece, get it finished, and then they're auctioned off right there. And that's exciting too. You do it right there, you put it up, and let her fly, and
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it's a quick turnaround. You know, you could almost say a little bit of instant gratification for both buyer and artist. I mean, because you see it, you know, transfigure itself in front of your eyes and then get sold right there on site. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
there's a lot of fun with that. You know, one question that we know many patrons and folks watching this are always interested by with artists is creative process. Share with us, Michael, on your creative process of taking an idea and bringing it to life in your art.
Well, in particular with these new pieces, there's a lot more that goes on behind in order to get it to come out right. Than not that painting alone is not enough of a challenge each time, but these I need to go to the use of Photoshop in order to get accuracy on some of the shapes that I'm putting on the piece. So a lot of pre-prep work goes before I ever go to the canvas and do a drawing, just for precision's sake, because of the pieces that need to be placed later. So I'll work that out. My color harmony, I'll get to try things, see if this color in light will go up against what I have behind it, those kinds of things. I try to work them out. And then once I'm satisfied with what I get back, then I'll go to the substrate that I am putting a drawing on. And then once that's done, the painting is finished, I do a photograph of it, send it away to a company that makes this technology for me. And then they send me a blueprint, and I match the blueprint to the piece that's now dried to make sure everything's in line. I get my color choices just right. And then about 6 weeks later, I get these pieces shipped, and then a whole assembly goes on top of that. And it's a little unnerving at times when you've got a drill in your hand.
I can only imagine.
Punch holes through the painting that you just completed, because if you make one slip, it's you got a thing you got to fix, you know, in paint, which you can do, but anyway, it's a little unnerving there. But once all that's done and the pieces are in place, there's electronics behind it, it all gets, I get to play electrician and assemble the thing, turn it on, and hope it all lights up.
Well, safe to say you've got unique ground on 2 points. Number one, no one else is taking a drill to their work of art like you noticed. That's a pretty bold move. And number two, I don't know that anybody else has electrical engineering factored into the equation either. So nice work.
Well, thank you. It's not rocket science. It's like plumbing. It's not, too difficult if you just have a structure in your mind. But
Sure.
anyway, it's another thing, another aspect to it.
Well, Michael, we appreciate your time today. Thank you for participating in Art in Action, and thank you for just sharing some insights.
Yes, you're welcome. And thanks for the invitation to do this today and to participate in Art in Action. I look forward to it.
It's our pleasure. And we want to thank D.A. Davidson Companies again for supporting Art in Action and all education programming here at the C.M. Russell Museum. And each artist has a sponsor, and those sponsors support the museum as well. The sponsor for Michael Blessing is Dave and Bridget Corner, who are great friends of the museum and longtime leaders and supporters of our museum. So Dave and Bridget, thank you for your ongoing support. And thank you everyone for tuning in to this Art in Action Artist Showcase. We're out. Thank you.